Welcome back to the Makeshift Tavern. It is Makeshift Monday and it's time to make our first official Sour Syrah makeshift drink. And we're going to kick the Sour Syrah sheets off with a shot of amaretto for an amaretto sour. Could have been whiskey for a whiskey sour, but we've had the bourbarian and the whiskey, so let's give amaretto its time to shine. Now for our number of alcohols on top of that, and we're getting 3, so it's pretty much a maxed out drink on alcohols. First up is a 7 for Hypnotic, which is back on the sheets after being retired for a little bit, which is a blend of vodka and cognac with fruity flavors. Our next alcohol is a 5 for Pisco, which is new to the sheets, which is pretty much an unaged brandy. Up next we have a 17 for Sour Apple Liqueur. So now we're definitely getting a Sour Syrah drink. Time for our mixer flip. And we're only getting 1 mixer for all our alcohols. And our 1 mixer is a nat 20. So we're getting 1 to our successes, and that gives us sour mix. Just in case the sour apple liqueur wasn't enough. Now for our number of additives or garnishes. And we're only getting 2. First up is a 7 for Kamikaze Powder, which has stayed on the sheets, carried over from the Barbarian. Thank you to Kamikaze for sending us a bunch of stuff to put in our drinks. And we're going with the Hawaiian Slice pre-workout. Now this is designed for a lot more liquid, so we're only going to do a 1/4 scoop. Now our final roll is a 15 for Sugar Syrup, which is probably needed with these sour elements in the drink. And now for our new Sour Syrah sheet feature, Wild Mad Jig instead of Wild Magic, where I'll put a D4 in a jigger, shake it around, and if we get a 1, 2, or a 3, we're going to add another alcohol, mixer, or additive or garnish, and on a 4, it'll be nothing. And we got a 3, so we're adding 1 more additive or garnish, and it's going to be a 10 for Grenadine. Now I've got my grenadine here, but I think we'll give all these ingredients a shake and we'll add it in after. So let's get some ice in here, give it all a good shake. We'll pour it up over a nice large cube, keep it nice and cold. And we'll add a bar spoon of grenadine on top of that. Now very quickly, just before I attend to this, I have some other business to attend to, and that's last makeshift drink. Those dice didn't go in jail. They need to go in jail. In you go. Perfect. Now back to the drink. We obviously got something a bit swampy-ish looking, but I think everything in here should work pretty well together. And of course it's gonna be sour, which is very fitting for the first Sour Syrah drink. Probably gonna be the first of many. Also, if you're catching this early enough and I've uploaded it on time, we're going to be over on the T-Witch playing some games. Right now we'll be playing some Minecraft, so if you want to come over and hang for a bit, have a chat, keep us company, we would very much appreciate it. Let's give this drink a try. Cheers! It is sour, possibly too sour, but it's also really nice. Now I do like sour drinks, so I'm looking forward to what this sheet's gonna bring us. And so far off to a pretty good start. I'm just gonna mix that grenadine in real quick. Now there's the real magic. Hopefully some of that sweetness cuts into the sour. Let's find out. Cheers. It does the tiniest bit, but not too much. The amaretto is really coming forward. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, it tastes like cherries to me. I know it's made from almonds, and I know I'm not the only one that thinks it tastes like cherries, so I'm getting a real cherry flavor out front, and then the sourness coming in. To be honest, it does have a lot of qualities of an amaretto sour, just with extra steps. The Hawaiian Slice Kamikaze, not really coming through. Definitely getting overshined by the more sour flavors, as well as the Pisco. I feel all that's doing is just building a bit more body to the drink, but ultimately it is a very sour, cherry, fruity, sweet drink. Even the green apple's kind of lost in there somewhere. I will go in for a 3rd sip just in case my palate's adjusted and there's anything that will come through. Cheers. Not really, that sour mix really took control. I might have put a bit too much in, but I kind of had to balance it with the alcohols. Now it's a little bit hard to score this because I know not everyone likes sour drinks, but coming from the perspective of someone that does like sour drinks, on our level 1 to 20 scoring system, this one's getting an 18. Big level 18. Maybe just a couple of small adjustments, bit of garnish for the visuals, but all in all, good flavour, tastes pretty nice. Not complaining. And for the name, because it did have that green swampy look at the beginning, I'm going to call it the Swampy Sour Syrup. And we're left with the dregs. Welcome to the dregs. If you're new to the end of any of our videos, you're now one of the dregs. It's where we finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers, the ones that stick around to the end, which is now you and all our other lovely dregs. So thank you for being here. And like usual, a little bit more than dregs, and I'd be lying if I said there wasn't a bit more. So let's top her up. I forgot for a second about the grenadine and got very confused when it came out green. But that is why it's called the Swampy Sour Syrup, and I now have a full drink for the dregs. Perfect. Everything is right with the tavern. Well, hopefully we get to see some of you over on the Tea Witch, if you're catching this early enough. But until then, let's get the dregs done. Cheers to the dregs. Thanks for being here. This feels like a dregless attack. But it was a hell of a lot nicer than the last dregless attack. Damn, that's a good drink. It's not above a level 18 though. Level 18 is still really damn good. Anyway, good night dregs. Or good time zone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. Welcome back to the Makeshift Tavern. Let's make our second Salsera makeshift drink. How many alcohols to kick us off? A big 3, we love to see it. First up is a Nat 20. That's our second Nat 20, so we're moving towards our third and final success for an advantage roll, and that gives us Amaretto for the second drink in a row, and I am not complaining at all. Next up we have an 8 for rum. Let's see which rum we're going with. And it's the Captain Morgan Tropical Mango and Pineapple. So far so good. Nice fruity flavors blending together. And our third alcohol is a 15 for limoncello. Nice bit of citrus to cut into those sweeter, fruitier tropical flavors. Time for our mixer flip. And we're getting 2 mixers. First up is a 14 for Pasito, which is a passion fruit carbonated soft drink. And although it might have lost a bit of its fizz, we're going to hold off because we might want to shake it all and top it up at the end. Our second mixer is a 6 for coconut water, which is so low on the list because I'm not a big fan of coconut flavored things, but I can see how it's going to work well in this drink. Now for our number of additives or garnishes, and we're only getting 1, and it's going to be another 6 for Whiz Fizz, which is what we here in Australia call sherbet. I know there's a whole thing over in America with sherbet and sorbet and ice creams, and it's a whole thing, but it's pretty much like a powdered sugar with a bit of a citrusy flavor to it. And I don't know if that's enough. We'll add a little bit more. That'll do. Hopefully that won't affect the shaking. But before that, we have our new Salsera sheet feature Wild Mad Jig instead of Wild Magic, where I put a D4 inside of a jigger, shake it around, and if we get a 1, 2, or a 3, we're going to add an extra alcohol, mixer, or additive or garnish, and on a 4 it's nothing. And we've got a 3, so we're getting another additive or garnish, just like the last drink. And our Wild Magic roll is a 12 for citric acid. Definitely not the worst thing we could have rolled here. We're just going to put a generous sprinkling in. Now we can get some ice in here, give everything a good shake together. Pour it up into our glass over some fresh ice. Leave a little bit of room on top for the Pasito. And now I wouldn't normally do this, but because of the nature of this drink, I feel it's only fitting to pop a little umbrella on top. Well, the dice definitely had an agenda, and it looks like tropical was the theme. Also, yes, this is the second Sour Syrah drink. You might have missed the first one, and that's because it was restricted. It's not eligible to be on the For You page because of excessive drinking of alcohol. Somehow we fall under that category. I know there's a lot of other creators, big creators out there, that you could consider excessive drinking, but I'm sure they don't get flagged for it. I think it's just a perk of being the Makeshift Tavern. But it's up, so if you want to go watch that after this, it's there. The first official Sour Syrah Makeshift drink. Also, on that note, I just want to add that none of this is alcoholic. This is all non-alcoholic drinks. The entire series, from the very start, it's always been non-alcoholic. You guys know this. That's why we don't call it makeshift cocktails, we call it makeshift drinks, because we're not doing cocktails. Let's try this drink. Cheers. Well, damn, that is so good. I was afraid the coconut water was going to come through a bit more because I'm not a big fan, but it hasn't, and it's just tropical, fruity, light, refreshing fun. The umbrella just sells it for me. A little bit of extra garnish would have been nice, but not necessary. I'm going in for a second sip. Cheers. Hell yeah, hell yeah. That's so good. So we got the mango and pineapple from the Captain Morgan, the passion fruit from the Pasito, coconut from the coconut water, the amaretto, which is cherry flavored to me. I don't care what anyone says. And lemon from the limoncello. It's just a whole bunch of mostly tropical fruits. Super well balanced, not too sweet, not too fruity, but just the right amount. I don't know what the Whiz Fizz is doing in there. The citric acid just kind of got lost in there. It's not too sour, it's not too sweet. It's really damn good, and I'm going in for a third sip because this could be the one. Cheers. Yeah, the Sour Syrah has come out swinging. This is a level 20. On our 1 to 20 scoring system, we've got it. We finally got another level 20. It's been way too long. I don't think there was a single level 20 on the Barbarian sheets. I don't know about the Quantrogue. Might have had one, but it's been a long time and we finally got one. This is so damn good. I think the only thing I would add to it, only for garnish, would be maybe a little bit of like a citrus wedge or wheel, some pineapple leaves sticking out, just for the aesthetics. But I'm not gonna let that stop this being level 20 because it deserves it so much. And for the name, obviously we gotta think something tropical, something in beaches, down on the shoreline, the sun's up, nice hot day, making me think of turtles. So I'm calling it the Tropical Turtle, and I hope I haven't used that name already. And of course we have the... Hang on a minute, dregs. Before you go on with the dregs, do you think we should be doing it given the current circumstances? I mean, we can't deny the dregs what they want. That's true, but maybe we should just cut it out a little bit, not show the whole thing. Yeah, we might have to do that. We'll try that. See what you can do. Good advice. Good luck. Thank you. Welcome to the dregs. If you're new to the end of one of these videos, it's where we finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers, which is now you and all our other lovely dregs. So yes, considering the current situation, I'm still going to do the dregs. You just might not get to watch me do the whole dregs. As much of a joke as it is, I still want you guys to see these videos, so we gotta play fair. Cheers to the dregs. Let's get it done. And like magic, it's gone. Wow, incredible. That is so good. That is so damn good. I would consider making that again. That is one for the recipe books. Anyway, good night, dregs. Or good time zone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. Welcome back to the Makeshift Tavern. Let's make another makeshift drink. Now, how many alcohols to round off the week? We got a big 4. First up, we have a small 2 for Baileys. That is a scary start for the Sour Syrah sheets. And we're going with the Pavlova Baileys. So let's put an ounce of that in. And next up we have an 18 for gin. And we're going with the Mason's Grapefruit and Mandarin Gin, the most acidic out of all of them. But somehow it hasn't curdled. Okay, well up next we have a 5 for Pisco, which also hasn't made it curdle. And finally we have a 16 for Whiskey. Let's see which whiskey we're getting. And we're going with the Johnny Walker Blue Label, getting fancy now. And still no curdling. Well, time for our mixer flip. And we're getting 2 mixers, which is worrying. First up is a big 19 for orange juice. There it is. Yep, that curdled. Our second mixer is a nat 20, so that's our third and final success, giving us an advantage roll for our first additives or garnish, but it also gives us sour mix, just in case the orange juice didn't do enough. Now, how many additives or garnishes are we getting? Only 1, but it is with advantage, so I'm going to roll 2 d20s and pick the higher of the 2 numbers. And we've got an 8 and a 19, so we're getting egg white for the 19. So we'll just carefully crack that into a separate tin and add it into the mix. Now finally, our sour sorrel sheet feature, Wild Mad Jig instead of Wild Magic, where I put a D4 inside of a jigger, give it a shake around, and if I roll a 1, 2, or a 3, we're going to add an extra alcohol, mixer, or additive or garnish, and a 4 is nothing. And we got a 3, which is another additive or garnish, and I think this is the 3rd time in a row we've had 1 additive or garnish and added an extra on with Wild Magic. And it's an 8 for whipped cream, of course. I've got my whipped cream here, but let's give this a shake and we'll add it in after. So with the egg white, we want to do what you call a dry shake. So we're going to add a spring in here, no ice, just to try and whip that egg white up a bit. Get some nice foam on top, help it all emulsify. Then we can give it a wet shake, so take the spring out, add some ice in, and shake it like normal. Now we'll double strain it into our glass to catch any little ice chips and impurities in the drink. And top it up with our whipped cream. So there's a little tiny bit of separation going on, but I think the egg white really helped emulsify it all and tie it all together. And I do have to quickly say, because Thursday's Makeshift shot was restricted from the For You page again for excessive consumption of alcohol, all of it is non-alcoholic. I've just filled these bottles up with waters, various juices, maybe some milk in the Bailey's bottles. It's all non-alcoholic. Cannot stress that enough. But just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna have to use a bit of magic to finish this drink. So now you see it, and now you don't. Just magic. Just disappeared into thin air. But if I had drank it, I would definitely be thinking it's quite sour and creamy, and the orange juice really comes forward, but the whiskey and pisco kind of get lost. The grapefruit mandarin gin would be coming forward quite a bit, but this glass is getting a bit heavy, so let's use a little bit more magic. There it is, and boom, there it goes. And had I drank it, I'd pretty much have the same thoughts as before. Sour, orangey, grapefruit mandarin, creamy. Not terrible, not great, but somewhere in the middle. Let's see what happens if I stir that whipped cream in. Well, it's definitely looking very creamy, and now it's looking a little less creamy. Actually, strike that. It's still looking creamy, but there's just less of it now. Magic. And I'm sure it's just as sour as it was before, but more creamy. Sweet, sour, but not in the good way. So if I were to score this on our level 1 to 20 scoring system, I think it would be getting a level 7. Drinkable, but you wouldn't be chasing after it. And for the name, I think it's only fitting that it would be called the Sorcerer's Sour Surprise. And of course, we're left with the dregs. Welcome to the dregs. If you're new to the end of any of these videos, you're now one of the dregs. It's where we finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers, which is now you guys and all our other lovely dregs, the ones that stick to the very end. And because I don't want this video to also get restricted, we're gonna have to use some more magic. I mean, it's only fitting because this is the Sour Syrah sheets. Also, if you did miss it, feel free to go check out the makeshift shot. Would have been 2 videos ago. Give it a little bit more love, it needs it. Now, are you ready to see the grand finale of the magic show? Now you see it, and now you don't. Ta-da! But I'm sure whatever other worldly entity has been drinking this drink, they would probably agree that it would be a level 7. Anyway, good night, dregs. Or good time zone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. Welcome back to the Makeshift Tavern. Let's make another makeshift drink. How many alcohols to round off this week? We're getting 3. First up is a 14 for watermelon liqueur, which is back on the sheets after having a very long hiatus. Then we have a 19 for sour drops again, which we had in the last drink. But at least we're going with the different flavour this time. We've got apple, and there's nothing wrong with apple and watermelon. And our third alcohol is a 7 for hypnotic again, which was also in the last drink. But again, probably going to partner up pretty well with these other 2 alcohols. Time for our mixer flip. Oh, and it was a big flip for 1 mixer. And our 1 mixer is a 9 for kombucha. I have a mango passion kombucha, so that's what we're putting in because it feels right. Now for our number of additives or garnishes, and we're only getting 1. These sheets are not big on the additives or garnishes, but our 1 is a 13 for a citrus twist. Now I've got my lemon peel here, but obviously we're going to garnish the drink with it. And now for our Sour Syrah sheet feature, Wild Mad Jig instead of Wild Magic, where I'm going to put a D4 inside of a jigger, shake it all around, and if I get a 1, 2 or a 3, we're going to add an extra alcohol, mixer or additive or garnish respectively, and a 4 is nothing. And we got a 2, so we're getting 1 more mixer. And our Wild Mad Jig mixer is a nat 20. I don't know if that should add towards the saving throws or not. I feel like we've been getting too many nat 20s lately. You guys let me know. But that gives us sour mix. Let's put a bit of sour mix in here. Add some ice. Give it a stir because we can't shake it due to the carbonation from the kombucha. Pour it up into our glass and it is just a lovely neon green color. And now we'll express our lemon peel over the top, get those oils on there, rub it all around the rim, and pop it in. The Sour Syrah is going hard on all these drinks and their physical appearances, because this one is looking damn good. Yes, it does kind of look like the ooze that turned the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but something about it still looks pretty damn good. And I feel like all the flavors are going to work together as well, so let's find out. Cheers. Yes, they do. At first I got a lot of sweetness from the watermelon liqueur, and now that I'm saying that, it's finishing on that same sweet note. But in between you do get a real sourness, a lot more than the last makeshift drink, that's for sure. Obviously from the sour mix. I'm going in for a second sip now that I know what I'm in for. Cheers. It is a little bit weird. I think maybe the kombucha is bringing in a weird flavor. Despite it being mango passion and should tie in pretty well with all these other fruity flavors, there's something about it that just isn't quite hitting that mark for me. It still tastes fine, don't get me wrong. It's still a very nice sour drink. Possibly a little bit too sour for some people. I enjoy it. But there's definitely something that doesn't sit right as a whole. Going for a third sip to see if I can figure out exactly what it is. Cheers. See, I can't even taste everything in the drink. But we've had Hypnotic enough lately that I know it's not that that's ruining the drink. I really don't think it's the sour drops or the watermelon liqueur, which only leaves two options, and I don't think it's the sour mix. So unfortunately, because of the kombucha making this drink a little bit funky, on our level 1 to 20 scoring system, I'm gonna sit this one at a level 16. It's still good, still up in that top bracket, just on the lower end. And for the name, I know I said about the Ninja Turtles before, and it is a very green color. I feel like we need to steer away from turtles because we had the tropical turtle not long ago. So instead, let's go the other direction towards grungs and call this one the tropical grung. And of course we're left with the dregs. Welcome to the dregs. If you're new to the end of any of our videos, you're now one of the dregs. It's where we finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers, which is now you, and all our other lovely dregs, the ones that stick around right till the very end of every video. We appreciate all of you so much. And I was just thinking about this, seeing as we've called this the tropical grung, and we've got the lemon twist in there, it would have been a good idea to have a lemon twist, an orange twist, and a lime twist to sort of represent all the colours of the grung. But hey, if we ever revisit this drink, it's an idea for then. Now we'll just get the last bit in here, as always. The true dregs of the whole thing. And unfortunately, I'm still nervous to be drinking this in its entirety because of getting restricted again for excessive consumption of alcohol. Not that this is excessive, I mean all the alcohols that went in this are super low percentage. Not strong drink at all. Not to mention it's mixed with non-alcoholic things. It just looks like a lot, I guess. So instead, we're gonna hit you with one of these. Ready? Just pay attention, watch close. It's a very nice drink. I'm actually tempted to bump it up from a level 16, maybe to a level 17. I don't usually do it, but yeah, I think this time I am. It's a level 17. Anyway, good night, dregs. Or good time zone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. Welcome back to the Makeshift Tavern. It is Makeshift Monday, so let's make another makeshift drink. How many alcohols to kick off this week? Only one. And our one is a 12 for blue curacao. And it feels like it's been a while since we've had blue curacao, so let's see where this goes. Already time for our mixer flip. And we've only got one mixer as well. And it is a 3 for milk. Which sounds strange, but I know from previous experience, milk and blue curacao doesn't separate. And now it's time for our number of additives or garnishes. And we're only getting one of those as well, so a super simple drink today. And it is a 17 for a maraschino cherry. Now I've got my cherries here, but obviously we're gonna add that in after the drink is served. And now for our sour syrup sheet feature, Wild Mad Jig instead of Magic, where I put a D4 inside a jigger, shake it around, and if I roll a 1, 2, or a 3, we're adding an extra alcohol, mixer, or additive or garnish, and on a 4 it's nothing. And we've got a 1, so we're adding one more alcohol. And our Wild Mad Jig alcohol is a 7 for hypnotic. So keeping things blue, but I don't know how hypnotic and milk go together. But we're gonna find out. So we'll get some ice in here, give it a good shake just to make sure it gets as combined as possible. We'll double strain it into our glass to catch any ice chips and impurities. And she's a bit thick. There we go. And we'll pop a cherry in to finish it off. So while I was getting set up for this shot, this happened, which arguably does look pretty cool, but not when you know why it looks like that. So while I'm trying to figure out what to do with this, I'll just remind you all that not only is it Makeshift Monday, it's also Minecraft Monday. We're over on the T-Witch playing some Minecraft, if you're catching this upload early enough. If you're catching this within the first, 2 or 3 hours after it was uploaded. Now I think I'm gonna stir this in together. I don't want to deal with whatever that is on top and then whatever that is underneath. We got to get it all in one. Now let's not give it too much time to separate, so let's get straight to it. Cheers. Flavor wise, that is actually quite nice. It's creamy but sweet, kind of fruity. Like the blue curaçao's obviously got an orangey flavor to it, but the Hypnotic, which does have other fruitier elements to it, really come into play. That is quite nice. Yeah, so the Hypnotic has natural tropical fruit juices, which works super well in this. It's a real shame about the separation because on taste, it's kind of delicious. It's just like fruits and cream and sweet, sugary, nice. Let's go in for a second sip before it separates too much again. Cheers. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this other than the separation. Now I probably could have clarified this, but I don't have time for that. I got to pre-film a bunch of stuff today, so we just got to drink them as they are. But I would imagine if this was clarified, it would be really damn good. So on our level 1 to 20 scoring system, it's a very nice color, it's a very nice flavor, but it is losing style points for the separation. Very off-putting. But with that being said, I'm giving it a level 18 because the flavor makes up for it that much. If it was clarified, you could be looking at a level 20. This might be one of the only ones that I will consider clarifying for a separate video. And for the name, we can't look past the fact that we have blue milk. So we're thinking Star Wars, so I'm thinking Spelljammer to keep things in the D&D realm. So I'm gonna call it the Self-Shaping Plasmoid. But of course, wait, don't with the drink, the dregs. Why not? I'm you from the future, just don't drink it, trust me. Okay, I won't drink it. I'll let him drink it. Wait, no, wait! That was weird. Hey, dregs. Welcome to the dregs. If you're new to the end of one of these videos, you're now one of the dregs. It's where we finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers, which is now you guys, the ones that stick around till the very end. Thanks for being here. We have blue milk. I mean, that's fun. I love Star Wars. Well, let's get the dregs done, but let's not anger the overlords. So we'll just do this move. And it's gone. Except for the cherry. Let's get that cherry. Ow. Well, good night, dregs. Or good time zone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. I hope that he's okay. Time zones are weird. Welcome back to the Makeshift Tavern. Let's make another makeshift drink. What's our number of alcohols for this midweek drink? We're getting 3. First up is a big 19 for sour drops. And we're going with the strawberry flavor. So we're kicking straight off with another sour drink. Next up, we have a 7 for Hypnotic, which we had in the last makeshift drink, but it's definitely a welcome addition here. And our third alcohol is a 6 for Brandy, and we're going with the Saint Remy, which should partner up pretty well with the Hypnotic because the Hypnotic is a cognac blend. Time for our mixer flip. And we've only got one mixer tonight, and our one mixer is a 10 for sports drink, and we're going with the Blue Bolt Gatorade. I have 0 complaints so far. Time for our additives or garnishes, and we're only getting 2. First up is a 16 for Warhead Surprise, which means we're either getting candies, drops, or spray. And we're going with the drops, which is a blue raspberry green apple flavor. So we'll just squirt a bit of each in there until it feels right. That'll do. And our final roll is a 10 for grenadine, but we'll hold off on the grenadine and we'll add that in after. Now for our Sorcerer sheet feature, Wild Mad Jig instead of Wild Magic, where I'm going to put a D4 inside of a jigger. Shake it all around a bunch. If I get a 1, 2, or a 3, we're going to add an extra alcohol, mixer, or additive or garnish respectively. On a 4, it's nothing. And we got a 4, so we're not adding any Wild Mad Jig to this drink. So let's get some ice in here, give it a good shake together, get it nice and combined. We'll pour it up over a little bit of fresh ice. And that is a great color. And now let's add our bar spoon of grenadine. Perfect. Straight out of the gate, massive style points. Maybe a garnish would help a bit, but I don't even know what it would be. Something simple, maybe like a lemon ribbon, just something small. But as it is, very nice. Hopefully, it tastes as good as it looks. Cheers. It do taste as good as it looks. God damn, that is nice. It is sour, but it's not overly sour. It's not like you've put a bunch of lemon or lime juice in here. It's more of that candy sour kind of flavor, but it's partnering up really well with the Gatorade and probably the Hypnotic as well, because that's got fruity, tropically kind of flavors. And while I am partial to sour drinks, this one kind of hits different. Second sip. Wow. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is it kind of just tastes like if Gatorade brought out a sour Gatorade. I don't know if that actually exists. I don't think it does, but that's the flavor profile. It's very sports drink-esque with a sour note to it. Let's stir the grenadine in, see what happens. Obviously it's gonna go red. Ooh, it actually kind of goes like a real sort of deep, rich, purpley maroon color, burgundy. I quite like that. It's almost like a port, which is very fitting for this glass. Let's see what the grenadine does. Cheers. It didn't change it too much. It's just got a little bit more of a sweeter note in there. And I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit more of the brandy coming through, but not in a bad way. I'm kind of tempted to give this a level 20 on our 1 to 20 scoring system, but it feels wrong because we had a level 20 not long ago and the Sour sheets have been pretty good so far, but it is a very nice drink. I'm gonna go with my gut. It's a level 20, which sounds wild to have a level 20 that close to another one. But I feel like if I drop it down to a level 19, that's only because of how recently we had another level 20. And that's an injustice to this drink. But it does make me worried of what's to come, because things have been going way too good lately. Now for the name, the purple color was making me think of Warlocks at first, and then I started thinking of Mind Flayers, and the god of Mind Flayers is Ilsensine. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm gonna call this drink Ilsensine's Blessing. And we're left with the dregs. Welcome to the dregs. If you're new to the end of any of our videos, you're now one of the dregs. It's where we finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers. But as of late, we haven't been able to fully showcase the dregs in true dregs fashion due to potentially getting restricted and having our videos not appear on the For You page. So we've had to get a little bit creative, because if I'm not showing the drink being drank on camera, you can't prove that I drank it, but the real dregs know. The dregs know what's up. And the real dregs also know that this happens a lot. And I ain't mad about that at all. Such a good color. Now, because we're talking about Mind Flayers, they're all mental. It's all brain sucking and all that. That sounded weird. Let's not say that again. However, we're gonna have to drink this drink mentally. So, that was damn nice. That was delicious, actually. Really got my brain juices flowing, you know? I'm definitely sticking with the level 20 for this one. It has earned it. It's very different to the last level 20, which was very tropical, summer breezy. And while this one still has that sort of sour quality to it, it definitely feels more like a nighttime cocktail bar kind of drink. So 2 ends of the sour spectrum, but 2 level 20s. Good night, dregs. All good time zone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. back to the Makeshift Tavern. It is Makeshift Monday, so let's make another makeshift drink. Now before we start rolling, I need to add a success to the saving throws from the last drink where we rolled a 20 on the wild mad jig roll. So there it is. And we're starting the week off with 3 alcohols. First up is a 5 for Pisco, which is basically an unaged brandy. Next we have a 15 for Limoncello. I mean, it feels like we're moving towards a Pisco Sour, possibly. And our third is another 5 for more Pisco, so I guess we'll just double up on that. Time for our mixer flip, and only one mixer, which is going to be a 2 for apple cider vinegar. Not gonna lie, not the best mixer. Time for our number of additives or garnishes. And we're getting 3 of those as well. First up is a 5 again for Salt Rim, which means we're going to bust out the rimming station made by our good friend Tom over at Tosano Trading Co. Definitely go check him out. As I've said before, he is our woodworking wizard. Now let's give this glass a good rimming. And up next is a 13 for a citrus twist. Now I've got my lemon peel here, but obviously we're going to add that in at the very end, so let's see what's up next. And we've got a 4 for Barocca, which is a tablet that you add to water to make like an energy drink, but I'm only going to use half a tablet because a full one takes control of the drink way too much. Last but not least, our Salsera sheet feature, Wild Mad Jig instead of Wild Magic, where I'm going to put a D4 inside of a jigger, shake it all around, and if we roll a 1, 2, or a 3, we're going to add an extra alcohol, mixer, or additive or garnish respectively, and on a 4 it's nothing. And we've got a 2, which means we're adding another mixer. Thank God for that. And it is a 12 for soda water. I guess it's better than nothing. Now let's get some ice in here, give it a stir, get everything nice and combined and dissolve that tablet. Pour it up into our glass. Squeeze our lemon peel over the top, express all the oils. Usually I would rub the rim, but we can't. So let's just pop it straight in the drink. Well, it doesn't look too scary, but the vinegar is really putting me off. Also, very quickly, if you are catching this early enough, we will be over on the T-Witch playing some more Minecraft, as it is not just Makeshift Monday, it is also Minecraft Monday. So if you want to come by after, feel free. We're going to be over there. We should be live now, if you're catching this in the first couple of hours of being uploaded. Now let's try this drink. Cheers. Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot going on. It's sour, but not in a good way. Not in a good way at all. And the salt really doesn't help because that is just lingering. Salt mouth right now. Big time. Not a good combo. Salty and sour. Doesn't work. Oh, I should also mention, if you haven't seen it already, we do have a new TikTok account for our podcast, Over a Barrel. So if you search Over a Barrel podcast, you should be able to find it, hopefully. But we're just going to be uploading little clips from the podcast, little fun moments. Possibly do some other things on there. We're not too sure yet, but it's happening. We thought we would make a separate account because that sort of content didn't feel like it would fit in on this account. So still doing makeshift drinks and cocktail stuff over here, podcast stuff over there, if you're interested. Let's go in for a second sip without the salt this time. Cheers. It's still not great. I'm having a hard time really differentiating anything other than limoncello and vinegar. I would have thought the Pisco would have come forward a little bit more, but it's not really. Definitely taking a bit of a backseat. And the Barocca is there, but it's not overpowering the drink. So it was probably good just putting that half a tablet in. Needless to say, I'm not a big fan of this drink. The Sour Syrah has finally hit a wall. Didn't hit it hard, but it's definitely hit a wall. So I think on our level 1 to 20 scoring system, I would give this one a level 6. No, a level 5. It just really isn't that good. I bumped it down to the 5 because I forgot about the salt rim. The salt rim really just does not help at all. Now for the name, the drink did look very unassuming. It looked kind of pleasant actually. The colour was nice, a little lemon in there, salt on top, but then you drink it and it's not so pleasant. So for that reason, I'm gonna call it the Tricky Troll. And as always, we're left with the dregs. Welcome to the dregs. If you're new to the end of any of our videos, you're now one of the dregs. It's where we finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers, just for you guys that stick around to the very end of the videos. You get that little bit of extra content. You get to watch me suffer. Sometimes suffer. Sometimes the drinks are good, but this time, suffering will occur. But hopefully we catch some of you over on the T-Witch if you're seeing this early enough, and hopefully we get to see some of you on the over a barrel side of things. And over on the Tube, if you want to watch the full episodes of Over a Barrel, or Cocktail PvP is over there as well, which hopefully you'll see more clips of that coming out on here soon, if not already. Anyway, let's get these dregs done. I suppose the right thing to do would be to get a bit more of the salt rim, just make it count, I guess. So cheers to the dregs, cheers to the tavern, let's get it done. Oh, it's not good. It's not good. It's like the worst kind of sour. And I like sour, but that ain't it. That's bad. Don't try that drink. Try many of the other sour sort of drinks, just don't try that one. Anyway, good night, dregs. Or good time zone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. Welcome back to the Makeshift Tavern. Let's make another makeshift drink. How many alcohols for tonight? Only one. And our one is a 10 for tequila, so at least we got a spirit for our one alcohol. And it looks like we're going with the Tequila Blanco. Ironic after we just used it in yesterday's video making the viral Batanga. Time for our mixer flip. Only one mixer as well. And it is a 13 for Kamikaze Energy. As always, big thank you to Kamikaze for sending us all their product. And we're going with the creaming soda. Can't say I've ever mixed tequila and creaming soda before. Now for our number of additives or garnishes. Only one as well, 111. A very simple drink. And we're looking at a nat 1, so that gives us a fail to our saving throws. And it means we add no additives or garnishes to this drink. So we'll just let the drink stoop there in its nothingness while we roll our Saucer sheet feature Wild Mad Jig instead of Wild Magic, where I'm going to put a D4 inside of a jigger, shake it all around, and if I roll a 1, 2, or a 3, we're going to add another alcohol, mixer, or additive or garnish respectively. On a 4, it's nothing. And we've got a 1, so we're getting another alcohol. And our Wild Magic roll is a nat 20. Look at that duality. One more to our successes. And that gives us Amaretto, which is our nat 20 option for Amaretto sours, being the sour syrup, but this drink is definitely not sour. Now let's get some ice in here. We'll stir it all around, can't shake it because of the carbonation obviously. Now we'll pour it up over some fresh ice. And that's it. Well, it doesn't get much more simple than 2 alcohols and 1 mixer, but at least it looks pretty. Also, just quickly before I do try this, not that it's coming up too soon, but I do want to start working on the next sheets. We're looking at doing the fighter, but I don't know how to work that into a funny, punny name. The best we got so far is a flighter, like a flight of beers or a flight of wines or whatever, but it's not the best. I was also thinking fight tequila, but that's too much of a mouthful. So if you've got any ideas for a name, let me know. Now let's try this drink. Cheers. It's quite fun. I'm not a huge lover of tequila, but the Kamikaze, the cream soda, and the Amaretto, very sweet flavors. So partnering up with that sort of earthiness from the tequila, which is still coming through, it's kind of got a good thing going on, good balance. Now I don't know if there's any other cocktails out there that have Amaretto and tequila in it, but it might be something worth looking into because it's kind of doing it. It's kind of doing it for me. Oh, also, if you're catching this early enough, we are going to be doing another stream tonight over on the T-Witch. The T-Witch. Doing some more Minecraft, but it's just going to be super low-key, chill vibes. We'll try and get the lo-fi beats going. We're just going to be doing some builds around the base camp. Doing a bit of maintenance, so to speak. So if you just want to come out, hang out, have a chat, listen to a bit of music, you know, maybe you're doing a bit of studying, you want something to listen to, we're going to be over there right now if you're seeing this in the first couple of hours of it being uploaded. Let's go on for a second sip. Cheers. Yeah, so the tequila comes forward first, without a doubt. That is the first thing I taste, but it is super quickly chased by those sweet, sugary flavors from the kamikaze and the amaretto. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot more to say about this drink. It is very simple. It's quite nice. I wouldn't say it's level 20 nice, but it does the job. Might be a touch too sweet for some people. I know personally I'm not big on sweet drinks, so I feel if I had too many of these, it would start to get a bit sickening. But just the one, not bad. Be a good summery drink. So on our level 1 to 20 scoring system, I will give this one a 15. There's nothing special about it, but it's not bad by any means. And for the name, because we've got this nice light orangey, ambery kind of color, and you got the earthiness from the tequila, but then you got those fruitier, sweeter flavors, I'm gonna call it the Druidic Daybreak. And as always, we are left with the dregs. Welcome to the dregs. If you're new to the end of any of our videos, you're now one of the dregs. It's where we finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers, which is now you guys, and all our other lovely dregs, the ones that stick around right till the very end. You're helping out the algorithm, you're helping out the Tavern. I mean, you're helping out yourselves really, because you get the extra content. Hopefully we get to see some of you over on the Tea Witch. It will pretty much be anyone that's making it to happy hour. We will definitely be over on the Tea Witch. So let's get this drink done. Cheers! Yeah, not bad at all. If you're not a big fan of tequila, that drink is probably a good place to start. You still taste the tequila, but it doesn't overpower it. Nice way to ease into tequila drinks. Anyway, good night, dregs. Or good time zone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. Welcome back to the Makeshift Tavern. Let's make another makeshift drink. What's our alcohol count for this drink? Only 2. First up is a 4 for vermouth. I've got a dry vermouth on hand, so that's what we're going to use. And next up is a 12 for blue curacao, which is quite sweet, so it should balance well with the vermouth. Time for our mixer flip. Only 1 mixer tonight. And our 1 mixer is a 12 for soda water. So we're not looking to change the flavor or color, just add a bit of fizz. Now for our number of additives or garnishes, and that's going to be 2 as well. First up is a 15 for sugar syrup, so a little bit more sweetness going in the drink. And then we have a 2 for a cocktail onion. So I've got my onions here, but let's sort this drink out first and we'll add it in at the end. But before we do that, we have our Sour Syrah sheet feature Wild Mad Jig instead of Wild Mad Jick, where I'm going to put a D4 inside of a jigger. Shake it all around, and if we roll a 1, 2 or a 3, we're going to add an extra alcohol mixer or additive or garnish respectively, and on a 4 it is nothing. And we've got a 3, so we're adding another additive or garnish, and we're looking at a 13 for a citrus twist. Now I've got a lemon twist here, but again, we're going to add that in after sorting the drink out. So let's get some ice in here, give it a stir. We can't shake because of the carbonation. Pour it up into our glass. Pop our onion in. And then express the oils from our lemon peel. Rub it all around the rim. And pop it on top. Something about this feels like it should all work together, but something about it feels like it's not going to work. It probably doesn't help that I'm not a big lover of onion. If you've seen our podcast Over a Barrel, either over on the Tube or the clips on our Over the Barrel account here on TikTok, which I will tag in this video if you want to go check it out, you will probably know that it's a whole texture thing for me, so I'm not looking forward to that part of the drink, but let's see how the rest of it tastes. Cheers! It's surprisingly good. With the blue curacao and the sugar syrup, very sweet elements going into the drink, but the dry vermouth and even the soda water cut that back a bit. It's still on the sweeter side, but not too much. There is a bit of a weird flavor in there, and I'm guessing that's coming from the onion. I'm gonna go in for a second sip, and then we're gonna deal with the onion. Cheers. Yeah, it's surprisingly smooth in a way. I don't know how. Usually you would describe like a spirit as being smooth as opposed to like that sharp burn. And with what went in here, you probably wouldn't use that description, but something about it makes you want to say that it's smooth. It's almost like velvety. And the lemon isn't doing much. There's not a lot of citrus despite expressing those oils on top. Not really coming through, which is unfortunate because this drink could definitely use a bit of citrus. And now for the moment that I'm gonna hate, the onion. Just slide it down the skewer a bit. See, I don't like how firm it is. That's the biggest issue I have. I don't like the old crunchy onion. And I know it's only a little baby one. It's only a little baby cocktail one, but that's enough. Oh, I can smell it. That was definitely the weird flavor coming through the drink. See, I can drink all the weird drinks when it comes to foods and textures. It's a whole nother barrel of fish. But let's just push through the wall, eat the onion, chase it with this. And who knows, maybe I'll discover an unfound love for cocktail onions, but I doubt it. Cheers. Oh, I can't do it. Oh. All right, it's gone. Oh, I can still taste it. And the thing is, I don't mind the taste of onion. I like the taste of onion. Maybe not with a drink like this, but it's the crunch. Something about the layers and the crunchy, and just don't enjoy it. Cheers. Other than that, it's not a bad drink. It's not an amazing drink, but it's definitely not the kind of drink you want a cocktail onion in. So because of that, taking all the garnishes into account, on our level 1 to 20 scoring system, I'm giving this one a level 4. Only because the drink is pretty decent on its own, but it lost massive points for that onion. And for the name, because we got this deep blue ocean water sort of color going on, something to do with that lemon, bringing some of that greenness in. I'm thinking of the goddess of the sea, so we're going to call it Umberlee's Betrayal. And as always, we are left with the dregs. Welcome to the dregs. If you're new to the end of one of our videos, other than the blind front cocktails, you're now one of the dregs. It's where we finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers, which is now you and all our other lovely dregs, the ones that stick around till the end. I could have saved the cocktail onion for the dregs, but we also got to give the normies what they want, you know, keep them happy. But if you haven't already, definitely go check out our podcast if you're interested. If not, just go over to the TikTok. It's just short little clips, give you a taste of what's going on over there. Again, it's going to be tagged in this video, and we're probably looking at doing some other things over there as well, but right now it's just kind of a podcast thing. Now let's get this drink done. Cheers to the dregs, cheers to the tavern, bottoms up. The sweetness really helped disguise a lot of that onion flavor, but I can still taste it. Good night, dregs. Or good time zone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. Welcome back to the Makeshift Tavern. It is Makeshift Monday, so let's make another makeshift drink. Time to kick the week off with a big 3. First up is a 19 for sour drops. We keep seeing it, and it's back again. We're going with the apple flavor. You know what, I'm not too mad. It's light on percentage, a nice safe option. Next up we have a 16 for whiskey. Never mind the light start, we're getting into the heavy stuff now. And we're going with the Howlerhead Banana Bourbon. So we're leaning in a fruity direction. And last up is an 8 for rum. Are we gonna get the Captain Morgan Tropical? Nope, we're going with the Sailor Jerry. Still a good option. I just don't know about whiskey and rum together. Time for our mixer flip. And we've got 2 mixers. First up is a 4 for tea. We're just using straight black tea, so it's going to be a little bit bitter. And our second mixer is a 5 for tonic water. A bit more bitter, but we're going to hold off and we'll top the drink up with it at the end. Time for our number of additives or garnishes. And we've only got 2. First up is a 3 for pickle juice. Just when it was looking tolerable, we got pickle juice. And last up is a 9 for bitters. And we're going with the original Angostura aromatic bitters. We'll chuck in 3 dashes, maybe hide that pickle juice flavour a bit. And now it's time for our Sour sheet feature, Wild Mad Jig instead of Wild Magic, where I'm going to chuck a D4 inside of a jigger, shake it all around. If we roll a 1, 2 or a 3, we're going to add an extra alcohol mixer or additive or garnish respectively. On a 4, it is nothing. And we've got a 3, so we're getting 1 more additive or garnish. And it's going to be a 7 for kamikaze powder. Shout out to Kamikaze for sending us this stuff, knowing full well that they could go in a drink like this. And we're going with the creaming soda. We'll put in like a 1/4 scoop. It's designed for a lot more liquid than this. Now we'll put our ice in. Give it a really good shake. Make sure we get everything nice and combined, especially that powder. Pour it up into our glass. And leave some room on top to top it up with our tonic water. Why does it look like beer? It just looks like a glass of beer. Is that just me? Anyone else seeing this? I'm sure it ain't gonna taste like beer. Also, very quickly, it is Monday, so that means we will be over on the Twitch playing some more Minecraft, as it is Minecraft Monday, as well as Makeshift Monday. So if you want to come join us, if you're catching this upload early enough, we're going to be over there. Come have a chat, hang out, if you want to, of course. Now let's try the drink. Cheers. I don't know how to feel. There's so many conflicting flavor profiles because there is some bitterness, obviously, from the bitters and the tea and the tonic water, but then there is some more sweeter, sugary sort of notes, obviously from the kamikaze powder, creaming soda, and I guess the howler head as well with its banana flavor coming through. Kind of partners up pretty well with the creaming soda. Everyone loves a good creamy banana. Get your minds out the gutter. I suppose I'll go for a second sip, figure out what's going on. Cheers. Got a little bit of the pickle juice that time, straight out the gate right at the front, but it's not taking control of the drink. It's adding a strange savory note to it. So there's bitter, sweet, creamy, savory, maybe just a touch of sour from the sour drops, but if any, it's not much. The Sailor Jerry's is completely gone. Can't taste that at all. It's mostly howler head, tea, little bit of pickle juice, and a little bit of the kamikaze, with the other things just kind of enhancing those flavors. But I was right, it doesn't taste like beer. At least no beer I've ever tried. But I have to say it, I'm not loving this drink. So on our level 1 to 20 scoring system, I'm gonna sit this one at a level 6. I'm not even sure if there's a way that you could alter it to make it better without completely changing the drink. It kind of just is what it is. And for the name, because we had the Joe Cat Gobbo as our little dice companion today, we're thinking big goblin energy on this drink. It feels like a goblin drink. But also because we had the pre-workout in it, and the bourbon, the howler head, little throwback to the Barbarian sheets, I'm gonna call this drink the Barbaric Goblin. Are the dregs in the room with us? If so, welcome to the dregs. You're now one of the dregs. It's where we finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers, which is now you and all our other lovely dregs, the ones that stick around till the very end. You get this little bit of extra content. You get to see me sometimes suffer, sometimes enjoy myself. It just depends. Depends how the dice feel on the day. This one will be a little bit of suffering. Not as much as the onion on Saturday's drink, but there'll be a bit of suffering here. And hopefully we can catch some of you over on the T-Witch if you're catching this early enough, because it's really fun chatting with all of you. It's a lot more intimate, you know? We actually get to have a bit more one-on-one. But until then, let's finish these dregs. I feel like this one's going to be a bit of a struggle. Let's see what happens. Cheers! There was a lot. It was a lot. Weirdly enough, it did have a little bit of a beer-esque quality in there. And I think that was from the tonic water. That sort of bitter fizz kind of quality. It didn't last long, but there was something in there. The pickle juice is coming forward a lot more now. But thankfully that creaming soda is kind of overpowering it. But not completely. Yeah, we'll stick with the level 6 on that one. Anyway, good night, dregs. Or good time zone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. Welcome back to the Makeshift Tavern. Let's make another makeshift drink. What's our number of alcohols for our midweek drink? A big 4. First out the gate is an 18 for gin, starting off strong with one of my favorites. And we're going with the 23rd Street Violet Gin. We could be looking at a pretty drink here. Next up is a 3 for Absinthe, which a lot of people think looks blue in these videos, but it's definitely green. It's the Green Fairy brand Absinthe. Next up we have a 17 for Sour Apple Liqueur. So the drink's starting to get a bit dirtier now. And last up is a 7 for Hypnotic, making another return. I feel like we've been getting this quite a bit on the sheets, but I'm not mad to see it. Time for our mixer flip. And we're getting 2 mixers, could be looking at a max out drink. First up is a 9 for Kombucha. Again, I have a mango passion kombucha, so that's what we're gonna use. And our second mixer is an 11 for Iron Brew. Shout out to Scotland. Love me a bit of Iron Brew, definitely tying in with the fruity flavors in this drink. Now for our number of additives or garnishes, only 1, so not a maxed out drink, but we're gonna get a 17 for a maraschino cherry. I've got my cherries here, but obviously we're gonna sort this drink out first and add it in at the end. But before that, we have our Sour Syrah sheet feature, Wild Mad Jig instead of Wild Mad Jick, where I'm going to put a D4 inside of a jigger, shake it all around, and if we get a 1, 2, or a 3, we're going to add an extra alcohol mixer or additive or garnish respectively. On a 4, it is nothing. And we've got another 3. We keep getting 3s on the Wild Mad Jig. So our final additive or garnish is going to be a nat 1. So we're getting a fail to our success throws and a big old nothing in the drink. So let's just make sure we add all that extra nothing. Now let's chuck some ice in, stir it all around, make sure we get it nice and combined, especially that nothing, really got to work that in. Pour it up into our glass. And pop a cherry on top. And we're back at it again with the swamp water. Actually, this kind of looks a bit like kitchen sink water, but what's the difference, really? However, looks can be deceiving because I feel like with what went in this, could be in for a decent drink. But I suppose there's only one way to find out. Cheers. Well, it definitely tastes better than it looks. I wouldn't say it tastes amazing, but it definitely gets the job done. The sour apple is really coming forward. You are getting that sour element to it, but not too much. It's a very mild sour, but then you're getting the dryness and botanicals from the gin, which works really well together. Again, like last time, the kombucha is a little bit weird. It's bringing in, I don't know, a strange earthiness. And I know that should work well with the gin, but it just kind of doesn't. Let's go in for a second sip. Cheers. It might be the absinthe and the kombucha partnering up together. The licoricey kind of flavor doesn't sit right with the rest of these ingredients. And the Iron Brew doesn't seem to be coming through a whole lot. It's getting a bit disguised by something else in here. Not gonna lie, I was expecting a little bit of a better taste and I'm kinda let down. Maybe the color of the drink did foreshadow the flavor of the drink a bit. It's a little bit wishy-washy, dirty kind of flavor. I suppose I better try the cherry, might add a little bit of sweetness. It actually did help a little bit. Maybe I should have put some of the cherry juice in the drink. Who knows, that could have been the secret. I think this drink just needs a little bit more sugary sweetness, bit of sugar syrup even. Something like that. But as it is, it's a little bit of a letdown. Still not bad, very middle of the road. So on our level 1 to 20 scoring system, I'm gonna give it a level 11. Just a little bit above halfway, but definitely could have been a lot better with what went in it. And for the name, we can't look past swamp water, and whenever I'm seeing swamp water, I can't help but think of grungs. I know we had the tropical grung recently, which didn't look like swamp water, but with this one, the way that cherry was just sitting on top tickling the water, I'm gonna call it the soaking grung, which is also a really good name for a tavern. And as always, we have the dregs. It's been a little minute since we got up close and personal like this, so I thought, why not? Let's get up close and personal for this one. How have you been? You been good? Hopefully? I've been pretty good. I'm glad this drink isn't as bad as the last couple. Hopefully the series isn't getting too stale for you. I do try and keep it fresh with the new sheets and the sheet features and all that other fun stuff, but I can also see how it would start feeling a bit repetitive. If you got any suggestions on how to switch up the formula a bit without deviating too much, let me know. Might take it into consideration. I should also mention, if you're new to the end of one of these videos, you're now one of the dregs. It's where we finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers, which is what I'm about to do right now. So, cheers. Oh, I had a bit of a bite to it. That gin and absinthe combo really coming forward at the end there. But overall, not bad. Level 11 feels about right. Anyway, good night, dregs. Or good time zone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because as we know, time zones are very weird. Welcome back to the Makeshift Tavern. Let's make another makeshift drink. And we're rounding the week off with a big 3 for our alcohols. First up is a 14 for watermelon liqueur. Nice fruity start. Next up we have a 9 for Galliano vanilla. Watermelon and vanilla. We'll see where it goes. Then we have a 6 for brandy. Brandy definitely likes to pop up lately, and we're going with the Saint Remy, which I feel is the one that we usually get, but it gives a bit of body to this drink. Time for our mixer flip, and we got 2 mixers. First up, a 14 for Pasito, which is a passion fruit carbonated beverage. I can see it working well with the vanilla and the watermelon. Our second mixer is a 3 for milk, which, yep, it is definitely separating in the Pasito. Great. Now for our number of additives or garnishes, and we're only getting 1. And it is a 19 for egg white. So let's crack our egg, sort our egg white out, and you know what? I think this is actually going to work. But before we shake it, we need to sort out our Sour Sorra sheet feature, Wild Mad Jig instead of Wild Magic, where I'm going to put a D4 inside of a jigger, shake it all around, and if we roll a 1, 2, or a 3, we're going to add an extra alcohol mixer or additive or garnish respectively, and on a 4 it's nothing. And we've got a 1, so we're getting another alcohol. And our last alcohol is a 4 for vermouth. Now lately I've been using dry vermouth, but I did get my hands on some sweet vermouth, which I feel like is better suited for this drink, so we're just going to use that for something different. Now I want to give this a dry shake, however the Pasito is carbonated, however it is a little on the flat side, so let's just drop a spring in, hope for the best. Whip the egg white, aerate it a bit, make it nice and fluffy. That went surprisingly well. Now we're going to add some ice in and we'll give it a wet shake. Help chill the drink a bit. And now we'll serve it up. Now the foam from the egg white should rise to the top and we'll be left with a nice looking drink, hopefully. Surprisingly, doesn't look too bad. It looks like the egg white really helped emulsify everything, bring it all together. We do have that little bit of foam on top, so the egg white did get whipped enough and it's done its thing. Honestly, it looks pretty unassuming. I mean, I know what it looks like. Get your minds out the gutter. But besides that, it kind of just looks like a milky drink. So, let's see what it tastes like. Cheers. Well, god damn, that isn't half bad at all. It's obviously milky, creamy, but it's also sweet and fruity because of the watermelon and the pasito, the passion fruit. And it was definitely a good option going with the sweet vermouth as opposed to the dry. I'm not mad about this at all. I'm going in for a second sip. Cheers. Oh, of course, the vanilla Galliano. Forgot all about that. That's 100% what's coming through with some of that more sugary sweet flavour. Pairs up perfectly with the milk in the drink. If anything, the watermelons may be a little bit out of place. Not heaps, because I feel like the passion fruit works a lot better with the sweet, sugary, creamy flavour of this drink. But I honestly don't think anything ruined this drink. If it was going to be anything, it would have been the brandy, but the brandy works really well with the vanilla Galliano. Just everything in this really tied together to make a very nice milk drink, despite the separation. I suppose it was lucky the pasito was a little bit low on fizz, which allowed me to shake it all together. Otherwise, probably just some passion fruit juice would do the job, just to get the flavour in there. You know what, I'm going in for a third sip because I'm really digging this. I can't fault it. I take the sip and I'm like, ooh, I don't know, and then everything just pairs so well together. And I think the egg white is necessary to keep it all together. And I know some people get a bit funny with egg whites. It doesn't really have much of a flavour. It seems odd, I know, but trust me, the sweeter flavours really tie it together. Now for scoring it on our level 1 to 20 scoring system, I really want to give it a 20 because I can't even think what I would do to alter this. It's kind of perfect how it is. I guess the only thing would be swapping the pasito out for something less carbonated, like a passion fruit juice or pulp or something. But I don't think using the pasito should knock the drink down at all because it didn't ruin any of the making of it. It's very easily subbed out with the same flavour thing. So I think this drink is a level 20. I think this is the first milk-based level 20, which is wild. And I'm pretty sure it's the third level 20 for the Sour Syrah sheets. The Berberian got none. The Sour Syrah is making up for the Berberian. And for the name, we're just going to call it the Enchanted Eggnog. And as always, we are left with the dregs. Welcome to the dregs. If you're new to the end of any of these videos, you're now one of the dregs. It's where we finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers, which is now you guys and all the other lovely dregs. Thank you for always coming back. We appreciate you so much. And I honestly cannot believe that we've got 3 level 20s from these sheets. There's been a couple of rocky ones, but they've all pretty much been good, and some of them have been peak, and this one is peak. If you've got any ideas on how you could alter this to make it even better, and maybe why it shouldn't be a level 20, but why you could make it a level 20, let me know. But I think what we rolled is all it needed. So with that being said, cheers to the dregs, and let's get it done. Bottoms up. It's just too good. There's just the right amount of vanilla-y, sugary sweetness. The fruity flavors come in behind. You've got the body from the brandy, but it doesn't overpower anything else. It's just there. Ties in well with the vanilla. Vanilla and brandy work. It's just a damn good drink. If you've got the ingredients, give it a go. I know it's a little bit of a messy ingredient list, but it's definitely worth trying. Anyway, good night, dregs. Or good time zone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. Welcome back to the Makeshift Tavern. It is Makeshift Monday, so let's make another makeshift drink. How many alcohols to kick off the week? Only 2. And first up is a 5 for Pisco, which is definitely getting a good run on these sheets, considering we've only brought it in for these sheets. And our second alcohol is a Nat 1, so we get our third and final fail, meaning the first mixer roll will be with disadvantage. And that gives us Spiritus Rectificowany, which is from Poland. Shout out to Poland. It's kind of the same thing as Everclear, just a very high proof, neutral grain spirit. Time for our mixer flip. And we've got 2 mixers. Now first up is our disadvantage roll, so I'm rolling 2 d20s and picking the lower number. Oh, and we accidentally got 3 d20s, but 13 is still the lowest, so we're going with that, which is Kamikaze. Shout out to Kamikaze for sending us a bunch of stuff. And we're going with the Apple Fizz this time. And I know some people get funny about mixing alcohol and energy drinks, but it's not the worst thing I've drank, let's be honest. And what's our second mixer? An 18 for Solo. Lemon and apple should work pretty well. Now for our number of additives or garnishes. Oh, and it's a big 4. First up is a 5 for a salt rim. So we're busting out the rimming station, you know it, you love it, made by our good friend Tom over at Tosano Trading Co. Go check him out, show him some love, and let's give this glass a good rimming. Next up, we have an 8 for whipped cream. Now I've got my whipped cream here, but obviously we're going to add that in at the end. Then we have a 16 for Warhead Surprise, which means we're either getting drops, candies, or spray. And we're going with the candies. So I suppose we'll just get 1 of each flavor and drop them straight in, let them dissolve in the drink a bit. And last up is a 9 for bitters. Which bitters are we going with? The orange bitters. So we'll do a few dashes of that. And last but not least, our Sour Syrah sheet feature, Wild Mad Jig instead of Wild Magic, where I'm going to put a D4 inside of a jigger, shake it all around. If we get a 1, 2 or a 3, we're going to add an extra alcohol, mixer or additive or garnish respectively. On a 4 it is nothing. And we got a 3, so we're getting another additive or garnish, making it 5 total. And we're going with a 7 for Kamikaze powder, doubling up on the Kamikaze. I don't know if that's for the best, but we're going with the Mojito, which is more of a muscle recovery powder as opposed to a pre-workout, which is probably a good thing. Dump a bit of that in there. Now we're going to add some ice, but we have to stir it because of the carbonation. I would have liked to have shaken it because of the powder. Now we'll serve it up into our freshly rimmed glass. Let's fish out those warheads because they didn't fully dissolve, and we'll drop them in the bottom of this glass. And now we can add our whipped cream right on top. Well, things got a little out of hand with the additives and garnishes. I believe that's the first time we've had 5 additives or garnishes. And I know some people have been asking, we have had 5 alcohols before. It wasn't on these sheets yet. It was on the first Barbarian drink. Started off with bourbon and then rolled a 4 on the alcohols. And that's the only one, I believe. Also, very quickly, before I drink this, if you're catching this early enough, we're over on the T-Witch playing some Minecraft. It is Minecraft Monday as well as Makeshift Monday, so if you want to come hang out after this, we're over there. Anyway, let's try this drink now and see what we're up against. Cheers. Creamy. The salt's a bit weird, but it's not the worst salt rim we've had. It kind of works with the cream, but it's probably a bit too much salt. Probably just a little pinch on top would have been nice. It would have brought out more of that sweetness from the cream. It's sour, it's appley, but there's something not right. Let's try a bit without the cream. The warheads are really coming through. A lot of that coating on the warheads is the main flavor, but then it's something about the other things in there that aren't working. You know what it is? I think it's the Kamikaze powder. I think that just is adding a weird flavor in there that doesn't quite work. Because the Apple Fizz Kamikaze, the lemon from the Solo, should work fine with the pisco and the spiritus, which doesn't have much of a flavor, it's just very strong. Orange bitters should tie into that pretty well, so I'm thinking it's the kamikaze powder. Let's try stirring the whipped cream in, see what difference that makes. Also, I should probably mention, I'm not sure how we're going to go on uploads this week. You might have noticed that the last Blind Drunk Cocktail on Friday didn't come out, and that's just because life's busy right now. Just didn't have the time to film, so I couldn't get it uploaded. Also didn't do an upload on Thursday, but that's a bit of a free day anyway. So what I might do is I'll try and do the makeshift drinks throughout the week, Monday, Wednesday and Saturday, but no guarantee on the other days. I'll see how I go. Okay, let's see what we're dealing with now. Cheers. I suppose I gotta get some of the salt again. No, it doesn't work. The warheads really don't work well with cream. There's definitely a drink in here that would work. To be honest, there's probably more than one drink in here that could work if you mix and match the ingredients a little bit differently. So it's kind of like a collection of drinks formed into one. So on our level 1 to 20 scoring system, I'm gonna give this one a level 7. I wouldn't be ordering it again, but you can drink it. It's not terrible, it's just a bit odd. And for the name, the initial look was giving me Eladrin vibes, specifically a spring Eladrin. But because it has that multiple drink aspect to it, I'm gonna call it the all-season Eladrin. And of course we'll get it without the dregs. Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, I've been busy doing stuff, you know. Huh. Do you want to do these dregs? Yeah, sure. Yeah, go for it. Thanks. Welcome to the dregs. If you're new to the end of any of our videos, you're now one of the dregs. It's where we finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers, which is now you and all our other lovely dregs. Sound off if you're a new dreg, you know? And old dregs, welcome the new dregs, because you're all part of the same group now. Congratulations. Hopefully we catch some of you guys over on the T-Witch. Again, if you're catching this early enough, it's always fun having a chat with you guys. It's a lot more one-on-one. But until then, let's get this drink finished. Cheers to the dregs, cheers to the tavern. Let's get it done. Wow, those warheads really come through. There's definitely a lot of complexity to that drink, but I think a level 7 sounds fair. Anyway, good night, dregs. Or good time zone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. Welcome back to the Makeshift Tavern. Let's make another makeshift drink. How many alcohols for our midweek drink? A big 4, maxed out on the alcohols. First up is another 4, which is vermouth. Rouge vermouth, which is the sweeter of the two. However, we don't know what else is going in this drink yet. Next up is an 11 for mead, which is gonna pair up well with the sweet vermouth. And we're going with the blackberry blues. We have not cracked this bottle yet, so I'm looking forward to it. Next we have a 15 for limoncello. So again, still very fruity, but a little bit more tart now. And last up is a big 19 for sour drops. Coming back with the sour drops. And we're going with the strawberry this time. So a very fruity drink. Time for our mixer flip. And of course we've got one mixer, which is going to be an 8 for apricot nectar. Do I need to say it? It's a damn fruity drink. Now for our number of additives or garnishes, and we've got 2. First up is a 17 for maraschino cherry. Now I've got my cherries here, but obviously we're going to garnish it at the end. And last up we have another 17 for double maraschino cherry. You know what, let's put a little bit of the juice in the drink, because it obviously wants some maraschino in the drink. Now we've got our Sour Sorrow sheet feature, Wild Mad Jig instead of Wild Magic, where I'm going to put a D4 inside of a jigger, shake it all around. If we get a 1, 2 or a 3, we're going to add an extra alcohol mixer or additive or garnish respectively, and on a 4 it's nothing. And we've got a 3, so another additive or garnish. which is going to be a big 19 again for egg white. Definitely an interesting finish, but let's crack our egg, get our white separated, pop it in. Now we're going to dry shake it with a spring to really whip that egg up, aerate it, get it nice and fluffy. Now we want to wet shake it. We're going to take the spring out, put some ice in, and go to town on it again. Now we can serve it up into our glass, and as it sits, it should separate and the foam will rise to the top. And while that happens, we'll add a double cherry garnish on top. So the egg white did raise up to the top, but maybe a bit more than I thought it was going to. But I mean, it's a look. It is serving. And it's probably going to be a little bit messy, but I don't have a straw in here right now, so we're just going to have to go for it. Let's see what it tastes like. Cheers. Not as messy as I thought it was going to be. The square glass really helps. Drink it from the corner. And it is very nice. It's got a very dessert quality to it. Sweet, fruity. Could maybe do with something a little bit more richer in flavor. But otherwise, everything's kind of working really well, which was kind of expected because of what went in it. It was mostly fruity flavored things. Because we had the blackberry, lemon, strawberry, apricot, cherry. I think that was it. Yeah, and then egg white and the vermouth. It's a fun little fruity drink. I'm going in for a second sip. Cheers. You can really smell the cherries when you're drinking it. That sort of sweet, sugary flavor that they have. But that doesn't come through much in the drink, despite adding that little bit of juice. It's good. It's sweet, but not too sweet. It's fruity, but in a well-balanced way. It doesn't just feel like we've chucked every fruit under the sun in there, which we kind of did get a big variety now that I'm thinking about it. However, it kind of works. It's just got a very cozy feel to it. I mean, it's kind of got a cozy look to it as well. I suppose we should try a cherry with it. Pop you in there. Try a little bit more. That didn't work as well. There's a lot of the mead flavor coming forward, the blackberry. It's got a tartness to it that kind of contradicts the sweetness from the cherry. It works well in the drink, but when you have the direct flavor of the cherry with the drink, there's a little bit of imbalance there. Other than that, can't complain. I feel like if you just had the cherries at the end as a little sweet finish, very nice drink. Although I think the one thing I would probably change is maybe half an egg white, not a full egg white, because that's probably too much foam. As for scoring it on our level 1 to 20 scoring system, it's good, but I don't think it's a level 20 good. Don't ask me how it would get to that level 20 because I'd probably have to experiment with it a little bit. However, it's going to get a level 17, which is still a very good level for a drink. And for the name, because we were using Coco the Adventurer, Quincy's little companion from the Lucky Griffin, I feel like we should just call this drink the Griffin's Luck, as a little homage. And of course we're left with the dregs. Welcome to the dregs. If you're new to the end of any of these videos, you're now one of the dregs. It's where we finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers, which is you guys, the ones that stick around till the very end. You're the ones that we appreciate the most. You're the real ones. You know it. Unless you're new, then you know it now. But if you're not new, then you'd know that there's a few of us here, not just me. And I can't remember who it was, so if it was you, sound off in the comments, but someone said that we don't give our friend in the barrel enough love, so you're up, come on. Wait, I get to do dregs? Are these good dregs? They sounded like good dregs. Welcome to the dregs, he already said that. I'm doing the dregs today, it's me, I'm here. This doesn't happen too often, and usually the dregs I get are not very good dregs. So thank you to whoever told them to let me out for a change. Cheers, cheers to the dregs, let's do these ones. Ooh, that is fruity and nice and foamy. I like that one. The foam actually tastes really nice as well. I don't know why people get weirded out by egg whites. I like egg whites. Like a nice little pavlova thing going on, if you know what a pavlova is. Anyway, good night, Dregs. Or good time zone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. Welcome back to the Makeshift Tavern. Let's make another makeshift drink. How many alcohols to round off the week? Only 2. First up is a 9 for Vanilla Galliano, which I think is the second time we got this on these sheets, and it is an interesting start. Next up is a 10 for Tequila. I feel like it's been a while since we've had tequila. And we're going with the Reposado. Definitely an interesting combination. Time for our mixer flip. And we're only getting 1 mixer. And it's going to be an 11 for Iron Brew. So we got a very yellowy orange theme going on so far. Now for our number of additives or garnishes. And we're only getting 1. And it is a 10 for Grenadine. Now I've got my Grenadine here, but we're going to add that in at the end. Finally, our Sour Syrah sheet feature Wild Mad Jig instead of Wild Magic, where I'm going to put a D4 inside of a jigger, shake it all around, and if we get a 1, 2 or a 3, we're going to add an extra alcohol mixer or additive or garnish respectively. On a 4, it is nothing. And we've got a 4, so no Wild Magic today. Let's get some ice in here, stir it all around, get it nice and mixed up. Pour it up into our glass and add our bar spoon of Grenadine. So I think that's the second time that Wild Magic has rolled nothing, which is probably for the best. This is a simple drink, but it looks effective. It looks like it's going to be good, even though I'm not a huge fan of tequila. But let's give it a taste and see what we're up against. Cheers. Oh, wow, okay, that's unexpected. I suppose it's expected. I guess I kind of forgot about the vanilla for a second there, but you get the tequila flavor coming forward and then the vanilla creeps in. So it's like a sweet tequila, like a dessert tequila. And the Iron Brew not coming through a whole lot. It's really tequila and Galliano. That's the 2 flavors out of the 4 flavors. Oh, I should also mention that we're like 2 weeks away from the next sheets, which is going to be the Fighter. Still haven't fully decided on a name. I'm leaning towards the Jaeger Fighter instead of Jägermeister, only because it kind of flows the best, but then it also would just translate to Deer Fighter, I think. Which is a little bit weird, but also Jägermeister hasn't really had a big feature on the sheets. It's been on the sheets, but never at the top spot. And we can throw in some of those other sort of medicinal aniseed flavored things, like Ouzo and Sambuca. But there's still time, and if you got any other names, let me know. There's been a bunch of suggestions, but nothing's really stuck with me. Nothing's hit the nail on the head yet. Let's go for a second sip. Cheers. Yeah, for someone who doesn't enjoy tequila too much, I don't mind it. It's just not my favorite. This does a good job of keeping the flavor, but not intensifying it. And I dare say, if we mix that Grenadine in, it's going to change things up again. So let's do that. Obviously, it's going to make the drink just completely red. But it might also make it a little bit sweeter, although I don't know if that's a good thing. Cheers. I think it was a good thing. It kind of took away a bit of that boldness from the vanilla, like that rich, sweet flavor, and kind of replaced it with a bit more of a sugary, sweet flavor. But the tequila still kind of brings it down to earth a bit. It's definitely on the sweeter side. So if you're not into sweet drinks, probably not for you. Especially if you're not into sweet drinks and tequila. But all in all, everything works pretty well in this drink. I feel like it could use a little something else, maybe some bitters or citrus, just to give it a little bit more complexity. But for a simple drink, it's not bad. So on our level 1 to 20 scoring system, I would give this one a level 15. And we've been getting So many high-level drinks with these sheets. You guys are probably getting bored of all the good drinks. I know you want to see the bad drinks. And yeah, I could load the sheets up with a bunch of bad options, but that kind of defeats the purpose. Like, we want good drinks, but with the chance of them being bad. If they're all just bad drinks, that's gonna get boring. You know, you gotta have that balance. It's just at the moment the balance is a little bit out because we're getting so many good drinks. But if you want to see the bad drinks, maybe go back and watch the barbarian drinks, because I remember there was quite a few low balls there, and who knows where the next sheets are going to take us. Now for the name, before I mixed that grenadine in and we had that really nice orange to red gradient, it just screamed autumn Eladrin. And I know we just had an Eladrin drink recently, but this one also does have that sort of fey quality to it as well. So I'm going to steer away from the word autumn, and we're going to go for fall, as our American friends would call it, or fall. Fall. Accents are weird, man. But I'm going to call it the Eladrin's Fall Sunrise. And we should just be left with the dregs. Welcome to the dregs. If you're new to the end of any of these videos, you're now one of the dregs. It's where we finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers, which is now you. And all our other lovely dregs, the ones that stick around till the very end, you get the little bit of extra content. You know, I'm drinking the drinks anyway, I might as well do it with you guys. So I feel like this video is getting on a bit. Let's just get the dregs done and get out of here. Wrap the week up. Cheers. Ooh, the tequila coming through a bit more. Hang on, no. The vanilla coming in again. The grenadine. Still not any iron brew, which is weird because it's got such a specific flavor, but the other flavors definitely overpowered it. Anyway, good night, dregs. Or good time zone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. Welcome back to the Makeshift Tavern. It is Makeshift Monday, so let's make another makeshift drink. How many alcohols to kick off the week? Only one. So we're looking at a simple drink so far, and we've got a 2 for Baileys. That is a scary start for these sheets. And we're going with the original Baileys. Already time for our mixer flip. And we're only getting one mixer, and our one mixer is an 11 for soda water. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit. This soda water has been opened before and it's a little low on carbonation, which might help with the separation. Time for our additives or garnishes. And we're getting 2. First up is an 18 for lime juice. Okay, forget about the soda water. We're getting separation. And last up is a 5 for a salt rim. Now this is the part where I forgot to do a salt rim, but don't worry, I fix it before I drink it. And lastly, our Sour sheet feature, Wild Mad Jig instead of Wild Magic, where I'm going to put a D4 inside of a jigger, shake it all around. If we get a 1, 2 or a 3, we're going to add an extra alcohol mixer or additive or garnish respectively. On a 4, it is nothing. And we got a 2, so we're getting another mixer, and our second mixer is going to be another 2 for apple cider vinegar. Of all the things. Super sour, super curdled. Let's get some ice in here. Stir it all around as best we can. We'll double strain it into our glass, hopefully catch any lumps. And it's going to take a minute. And there we go. Alright, let's get this salt rim situation sorted out as quick as I can. There's the rimming station. You know it, you love it. Our good friend Tom over at Chisano Trading Co. made it. Salt. Get some of that on there. I'm going to use some of our lime juice to wet our rim and just really coat it up. Get all that salt on there. Give it a good rimming, if you will. Might be too much salt. Now we'll take our pre-poured mix and dump it in. That went better than I was expecting. So that's the problem with the way I film this sometimes. I do all the dice rolls first, then I fill the sheet in, then I make the entire drink. And every once in a while I'll forget to add something while making the drink. But we fixed it, it's fine. There's so much salt on there, and this is already going to be bad. I'm going from the edge with the least amount of salt. Cheers. Oh. Okay, Oh, that was a ride. That was a lot. My eyes are beginning to water. It's creamy, and it's sour, and it's salty. And you don't want those three things together. And I think even had I just completely forgot the salt rim, it wouldn't have been much better. It was bound to happen eventually. The sour Syrah sheets have been going way too well. This has been a long time coming. The worst part is I kind of jinxed myself in the last drink with getting a bad drink this time, and it's doubly bad because I'm pre-filming these. So this is like immediate ramifications. But I suppose I'm going in for a second sip. Cheers. No salt this time. But I don't think that's gonna help. Oh. Okay, keep it down. It's not good. You drink it, you get all the sour in your mouth instantly. You swallow it, and then the creamy flavor comes in. And that's the worst part. The sour in the mouth isn't bad, and then you get the creamy, and that's the worst part. Pretty safe to say on our level 1 to 20 scoring system, it's a level 1. There's nothing redeeming about this drink. And you definitely need a high constitution for this one, which is making me think of dwarves. And I'm sure for a dwarf, this is very stomachable. So I'm gonna call it the Dwarven Delicacy. Now I think we all know these dice are going in jail, but I do feel bad because our good friend Jazzy made these over at the Dicey Dungeon. But fair's fair, they're going in. Are the dregs still here? You are? Yeah, of course you are. Welcome to the dregs. If you're new to the end of any of these videos, you're now one of the dregs. It's where we finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers. And I don't want to do these dregs. I'm not gonna lie. It's churning a little bit. But we can't have the good without the bad, so these dregs are gonna have to happen, but damn, those dice definitely deserved jail. Preparing my brain and my stomach. Let's get it done. There's a lot here. Could this be the one that finally does me in? There's been a lot, but could this be it? Cheers to the dregs, I suppose. Let's get it done. God damn it. Oh. Okay. Oh, there's the cream. Yeah. Give me 2 seconds. Oh. Salty sour cream sounds so dirty. Get your minds out the gutter. It's not good. It's disgusting. Oh, everything is starting to water now. If I went into the negatives, this would be below a level 1, but we don't, so it's just a level 1. Good night, dregs. Or good time zone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. Welcome back to the Makeshift Tavern. Let's make another makeshift drink. How many alcohols are we getting tonight? A big 3. It's been a little while. Starting off with a 5 for Pisco, which is pretty much an unaged brandy, and not a bad start. Next up we have is a nat 20, so that's 1 to our successes, kicking off a new race to an advantage or disadvantage roll. And that gives us amaretto, which is always a pretty safe option. And last up is an 18 for gin. Let's see which gin we're going with. And it's the Mason's Grapefruit and Mandarin gin. So adding a little bit of fruit, a little bit of citrus to the drink. Time for our mixer flip. And we're going with 1 mixer, which is going to be an 18 for Solo. For those of you outside of Australia, Solo is a lemon-flavoured carbonated soft drink, so it should work well with our alcohols. Now for our number of additives or garnishes, and it's a big old 4. First up is an 11 for Luster Dust. It's been a while, and we're going with the Silver Luster Dust. So we'll put a little bit of that in there, stir it around, give it a chance to incorporate. Next up we have a 3 for pickle juice. It had to go wrong somewhere. Let's just put in half an ounce. Next up is another 11, so double luster dust. Let's see what we're getting out of the remaining 2. And we're going with the gold this time. So we'll put a bit of that in there and stir it around again, and it has definitely taken over. Last up we have a 9 for bitters. Which bitters are we going with? Just the original Angostura aromatic bitters. Do a couple of dashes of that. And last up is our Sour Syrah sheet feature, Wild Mad Jig instead of Wild Magic, where I'm going to put a D4 inside of a jigger, shake it all around. If we roll a 1, 2 or a 3, we're going to add an extra alcohol mixer or additive or garnish respectively. On a 4, it is nothing. And we got a 4, so no Wild Magic tonight. Let's add some ice into our mix, stir it all around, get everything nice and combined, let that luster dust work its magic, pour it up into our glass. And that's all there is. So double luster dust is pretty crazy for this drink. It's been a while since we rolled it up, so I guess it's fitting that we got it twice. Definitely gives it style points. Can't argue on that. And I'm surprised the silver still comes through a bit, but the gold really took control. However, let's give it a try. Cheers. How does the pickle juice still come forward? Not in a strong way. It's actually probably one of the best drinks we've had with pickle juice in it, in my opinion, but it's still there. And it's kind of dirtying up the flavors from the amaretto and the gin and the pisco, which are all coming through just in a dirty way. I mean, if you're a fan of pickle juice, this might be for you. I'm not a big fan, hence why it's so low on the list, but it's tolerable. Definitely better than the last drink. Not that that had pickle juice in it. Let's go in for a second sip, see what's going on now that we've adjusted a bit. Cheers. Alright, there's got a kick to it that I did not get on the first sip. Really took me for a ride there. I honestly don't know how to feel about this drink. It's got potential, but it's also kind of bad. Let's stir that luster dust in a bit more, just so I can feel good about it. There we go, that's pretty. Now I feel like me and this drink can be friends. I don't know what level to give this drink on our level 1 to 20 scoring system. I suppose I'm going in for a third sip to figure it out. Cheers. Yeah, it's weird. It's very weird. The solo doesn't come through at all. It's mostly the 3 alcohols, probably more so the amaretto and pickle juice. And I'd put such a small amount of pickle juice in there. So you're getting the sweetness from the amaretto and the sourness from pickle juice, the savouriness from pickle juice. Not really working. So I'm gonna give it a level 8, which isn't great. There's not much to debate. It's just down to the dice and fate. That was terrible. Anyway, for the name, here's a wild story. Some of you might know the way I film this is I make the drink, I think of a name based on the presentation, how I think it's gonna taste, what went into it, then I'll do the name of the drink, and then I'll film this of me drinking the drink. So I come up with the name. And the name I've come up for this one is the Gilded Goblin, because of the pickle juice, the gold luster dust, had big goblin energy. We were using the Joe Cat Rogue Goblin as our dice companion, who I should have put back up there, but he's down here now. However, I thought that was a really good name for a tavern, so I looked it up to see if anyone had used it. And someone has, but not as a tavern. It's a tattoo parlour here in Adelaide, South Australia, where we're based, which is insane. So shout out to the Gilded Goblin Tattoo Parlour. Not that I have any tattoos, but Erin does. She's actually getting tattooed right now while I'm filming this. Not at the Gilded Goblin. We didn't know about you guys, but now we do. And I mean, hey, if you ever want a drink, hit us up. But it's so weird the way that that happened. Anyway, the drink is called the Gilded Goblin, not to be mistaken with the tattoo parlour. And we're left with the dregs. Welcome to the dregs. If you're new to the end of any of our videos, you're now one of the dregs. It's where we finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers, the ones that stick around till the very end, get a little bit of extra content, get to see me usually suffer, but lately it's been pretty good. However, this one's a little bit middle of the road, and there's still quite a bit of it left. So it's not quite dregs, but we're just gonna have to get it done and try and keep it down. So cheers to you guys, cheers to the dregs, thanks for being here, cheers to the tavern, wish me luck. Whoa. Whoa. That's a lot. That's a lot going on. Kind of burns a little bit. The pickle juice is there. There's a sweetness mixing in with it. It's not great. Contemplating whether it should still be a level 8 or if I should bump it down a bit, but we'll stick with a level 8. Anyway, good night, dregs. Or good time zone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. Welcome back to the Makeshift Tavern. Let's make another makeshift drink. Now, how many alcohols to round off the week? A big 3. Kicking us off with a 6 for brandy. And we're going with the St. Agnes brandy. I feel like it's been a minute since we've had the St. Agnes. Next up is a 13 for vodka. And which vodka are we going with? The Absolute Mango, adding a little bit of tropical fruity vibes to it. Love to see it. And last up is another 13. So let's see, with our remaining vodkas, we're going with the Absolute Lime. Not a bad pick at all. Time for our mixer flip. And we've only got one mixer for all our alcohols. And it is a 7 for ginger beer. Been a minute since we've had ginger beer, but I don't hate the idea of it. Now for our number of additives or garnishes, and only one of those as well. And it's going to be a 7 for Kamikaze powder. As always, huge shout out to Kamikaze for sending us a bunch of stuff. And we're going with the Hawaiian Slice, which is a pre-workout, so we're only going to do about a 1/4 scoop just to balance out with the liquid level. And finally, our Sour Syrup sheet feature Wild Mad Jig instead of Wild Magic, where I'm going to throw a D4 inside of a jigger, shake it all around. If we get a 1, 2, or a 3, we're going to add an extra alcohol, mixer, or additive or garnish respectively. On a 4, it is nothing. And we got a 1, so we're getting 4 alcohols. And our Wild Mad Jig alcohol is a nat 20, so we get a second success, moving towards an advantage roll. And that gives us amaretto, but we're gonna hold off on the amaretto for reasons. Let's chuck some ice in here, stir it all around, try and get the Kamikaze nice and combined. I would like to shake it, but the ginger beer is carbonated, so we're gonna stir. Pour it up into our glass. So you're probably wondering about the amaretto, and it's mainly because I forgot to put it in while I was filming that part of the drink. So we're gonna add some in now. For those of you unaware, I film it in a way where I do the dice rolls, I fill the sheet in, I make the drink, and then I film this part where I drink it. And then I edit it all together. And so for the second time this week, I forgot to add something in while filming the making of the drink. So let's add a splash in. We're just gonna measure from the heart. That feels about right. Mix it around a bit. There we go, the Wild Mad Jig hasn't been forgotten. So let's give it a try, see what it tastes like. Cheers. It's strong, but it tastes pretty good. That amaretto is really pairing up with the ginger beer in a good way. I don't know what it is, but there's something that really works with those two. It does have a bit of a tropical flavor to it, which I guess is kind of expected with the mango and lime vodkas, the Hawaiian Splice, which kind of has an orangey flavor to it. Even the amaretto, it's all kind of bringing tropical vibes, but not in an overpowering way. And I think that's really getting pulled back by the ginger beer and the brandy. Oh, also, we are 1 week away from the next sheets, which is going to be the fighter sheets. I'm pre-filming this, so I don't know if we've decided on a name yet, because that's future Edward's problems. Also, I don't know how far along on the sheets we are, because again, that's future Edward's problem. Is there anything that you think should go on the sheet design-wise for a fighter, like how we had The Wizard had like magical stuff, the Sorcerer has magical stuff, the Barbarian had like fists and chains and axes and blood. Because there is a very good chance we're still working on the sheets right now when this video gets uploaded. Anyway, let's go in for a second sip. Cheers. I almost expect it to burn a bit more, but it doesn't. And the ginger beer is really pulling its weight. You get some of the fruity flavors, then the ginger beer mellows it out massively, and then you kind of end with the fruity flavors just lingering, but not coming through too much. And I'm sure the brandy's playing a big part there as well. I think after the last couple of drinks, we're moving back up to a high note because this one tastes pretty good. Now that I'm saying that, there is a little bit of a burn in my mouth in a weird way, like as if this drink was spicy, but it's not. Unless it is, but it shouldn't be. No, I'm sure it's just an alcohol burn with double vodka and brandy. I'm gonna go in for one more sip before I score it, just to figure out how I really feel about it. It's definitely got a kick. It's definitely got a kick that is hidden. It's an underlying kick. And I think on our level 1 to 20 scoring system, this one's gonna get a level 13. It definitely has a lot of reworking that could happen to it, but as it is, it's fine. It's probably a little bit poor balance because of how much alcohol versus mixer, but it's got potential to become something better. So a level 13. And for the name, because we had the St. Agnes brandy feeling a little bit spiritual, holy, I'm thinking Paladins, and because we had the pre-workout, the Kamikaze, I'm just gonna call it the Paladin's Might. And
but of
as
course
always,
we have
we're left with the dregs. No, sorry. This is you. You do it. It's your drag.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
All you. No, thanks. Cheers. Welcome to the dregs. If you're new to the end of any of our videos, you're now one of the dregs. It's where we finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers, which is now you guys, and all our other lovely dregs, the ones that stick around till the very end, the dregs. It's self-explanatory. And I'm not too upset about these dregs. It's a decent drink, if not a strong drink, but at least it tastes good. Also, just as a little heads up to the dregs, again, I am pre-recording this, so I don't know exactly what the plan is, but we're either going to do a live stream on Saturday or maybe Friday for us, which could be Friday or Thursday, depending on where you are in the world, to introduce the new fighter sheets. I think at the moment we're planning Saturday, but it could happen on Friday. Anyway, I'll let you know as the week goes on when it's happening. We'll do a farewell to the Sorcerer and all that. It has gone real quick, by the way, and I'm going to be sad to see it go. But as all good things must come to an end, so does this drink. Cheers to the dregs. Whoa! That went straight to my head. It tastes good, but it's a rush. Big rush. It's definitely a mighty drink. Anyway, good night, dregs. Ooh. Or good time zone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. Sorry. Welcome back to the Makeshift Tavern. It is Makeshift Monday, so let's make another makeshift drink. Now, how many alcohols for our second to last Sorcerer drink? Just one. And it's going to be a 9 for Galliano Vanilla. Starting to see it pop up a little bit more now. Definitely an interesting start. Already time for our mixer flip, and only one mixer. Our one mixer is a 3 for milk. I've just realised our milk is out of date, so I'm using some of Erin's oat milk. Close enough. Now for our number of additives or garnishes, and we're getting 3. First up, a big 19 for egg white, which is starting to sound very similar to another drink. But let's pop our egg white in and see what else we're getting. Next up is an 18 for lime juice. Things have taken a turn. We'll just do half an ounce of lime juice. And last up, is a 16 for Warhead Surprise, which means we're either getting the candies, the drops, or the spray. And it looks like we're getting the spray for the first time. So let's give our glass a good spritz. Nice bit of green apple to go with the rest of our flavours. And finally, our Sour Sorra sheet feature, Wild Magic instead of Wild Magic, where I'm going to put a D4 inside of a jigger, shake it all around. If we get a 1, 2 or a 3, we're going to add an extra alcohol mixer or additive or garnish respectively, and on a 4 it is nothing. And we've got a 2, so we're getting a second mixer, and our Wild Magic mixer is a 4 for tea. Well, milk, tea and Galliano sounds good together. Don't know about the rest. Let's chuck a spring in here. We're going to give it a dry shake, meaning no ice, to really whip that egg white up, get it nice and fluffy. Put some ice in, give it a wet shake to chill the drink. And now we'll pour it up into our freshly spritzed glass, and hopefully that foam will rise to the top. Just quickly, because I forgot to say it last Monday, if you're catching this video early enough within the first couple of hours, we'll be live over on the T-Witch playing some games, playing Minecraft specifically. It's Minecraft Monday, as well as Makeshift Monday. So yeah, if you're here for happy hour, then we're going to be over there playing games. If you want to come join, have a chat. But besides that, this drink is not the first time that we got Galliano vanilla, milk, and egg white in a drink. Because the Enchanted Eggnog a few drinks back had those 3 ingredients as well, plus other things. And we used full milk, not oat milk. So let's see what we're dealing with here. Cheers! Okay, it's not as good as the Enchanted Eggnog. The lime juice really comes forward. It's not bad, but when you've got vanilla and lime, they don't really go well together. I'm sure the green apple spray is tying in with the lime as well, bringing that sour quality into it. And then there's probably a little bit of bitterness from the tea, because it is just straight black tea. Might have been better if not for the lime juice. Oh, also, the new sheets, we are going with the Jägerfighter. It just feels like it flows the best. Jägermeister, Jägerfighter. There were a lot of good options, don't get me wrong, but when we have to make the list around the name for the sheet, Jägermeister just felt like a good option. Because it often gets requested, and we've never really given it a big chance to shine on any sheets, and we can sort of partner it up with like Sambuca, Ouzo, other sort of anisey, licoricey, medicinal flavoured things. Which might come back to bite me, but hey, at least it's going to be different. And we are still working on the design of the sheets, which I knew we would be because it always gets left till the last minute. But we're hoping to have them finished by Friday for us, because that's when we plan to do the live. We were thinking about Saturday, but it's just going to work out easier for us if we do it on the Friday. But yeah, 11 AM Australia time. Friday. This Friday. Coming. Now let's go on for a second sip. Cheers. I think the oat milk kind of helped in this situation because the lime really would have butchered full fat milk. Although we have learnt that egg white does help emulsify it, so it might not have been too bad. But it definitely feels like a precursor to the Enchanted Eggnog, which was a level 20. So for this one, on our level 1 to 20 scoring system, a level 9. It's drinkable, it's not amazing, it's not terrible, it's just right in the middle. It's a little bit weird, which is why it sort of gets under that halfway point, but it's not gonna make you throw up. And for the name, because it feels like a precursor to the Enchanted Eggnog, we're gonna call it the Artificer's Exploding Eggnog. And we're left with the dregs. Welcome to the dregs. If you're new to the end of any of our videos, you're now one of the dregs. It's where we finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers, which is now you and all our other lovely dregs. And I am gonna say that because we're gearing up for the live on Friday, we might not have videos coming out Tuesday or Thursday, which are the free days. I really wanted to do the next Grand Line cocktail, the one-piece drinks, but I just don't think I'm going to have the time. But I definitely will make sure that we're going to get the last Sour Syrah makeshift drink on Wednesday, because we've got to get that finished before we move on to the new sheets on Friday. But hopefully a bunch of you can join the live. I know it's hard with time zones and everything, but I will do a farewell to these sheets with a countdown timer like I usually do. And yeah, hopefully we'll see some of you there. Cheers to the dregs. Cheers to the tavern. Let's get it done. A lot of foam at the end there. Oh, a foamy burp as well. Yeah, really disappointing. The vanilla doesn't come through a whole lot because the lime just controls the whole drink. It is what it is. Anyway, good night, dregs. Or good time zone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. Welcome back to the Makeshift Tavern. Let's make our final Sour Syrah makeshift drink. And how many alcohols for our final Sour Syrah makeshift drink? A big 4. Hang on, this isn't the Barbarian sheets. Well, let's see what's starting us off anyway. A 3 for Absinthe. We are starting off strong. Next up is a 7 for Hypnotic, which had a big run early in the sheets, and it's making a comeback at the end. Our third alcohol is another 7 for Double Hypnotic. I guess it just couldn't get enough. And last up is another 3 for more Absinthe. This is going to be one of the weirdest 4 that we've rolled. Well, time for our mixer flip. And we're getting 2 mixers, thank God. First up is an 18 for Solo, which is a lemon flavoured carbonated soft drink here in Australia. I know other places in the world have their own version of Solo, unrelated to this Solo. And our second mixer is an 11 for Iron Brew, which we've had a couple of times now, and I'm not complaining about it. Now for a number of additives or garnishes. Are we getting a maxed out drink? Nope, we're only getting 2 of those. First up is an 11 for Luster Dust. Let's see which Luster Dust we're going with. And we're going with the red Luster Dust, so we'll put a little bit of that in here, stir it around, let it work its magic, and that made a very quick change. That is magic. And last up is a 14 for Sour Gummies, which we definitely haven't rolled enough. I've got some Sour Peach Hearts here, but obviously we're going to add them on at the end. And now for our final Sour Syrah sheet feature, Wild Mad Jig instead of Wild Magic, where I'm going to add a D4 into a jigger, shake it all around. If we get a 1, 2 or a 3, we're going to add an extra alcohol mixer or additive or garnish respectively, and on a 4 it is nothing. And we got a 1, so we are getting 5 alcohols in this drink. And our Wild Magic roll is a nat 20. So we're adding our third and final success, meaning the next sheets start with advantage. And that gives us Amaretto. So let's pop a bit of that in there. Chuck some ice in. Stir it all up, get it nice and chilled and combined and all the other fun things. Pour it up into our glass. And watch that Luster Dust really do its thing. And then we'll garnish it with not 1, not 2, but 3 Sour Peach Hearts. So we didn't get much of a sour drink, but it definitely feels like a sorcerer's drink, especially with that Luster Dust. And yes, this is the final Sour Syrah makeshift drink before we move on to the Jägerfighter sheets, which we will be doing a live to introduce, as we always do. It's going to be happening on Friday for us. And I will be doing a farewell video for the Sour Syrah sheet, where I'll roll up a shot and we'll have a countdown timer for when the live is going live. So if you're not sure what time it's going to be, check out tomorrow night's video or tomorrow morning's video, depending on what time zone you're in, and that should have a countdown timer. Anyway, let's try this final drink. It is a biggin. Cheers. Oh wow, a lot of the flavors are all coming through. I thought it was going to be very much like that absinthe, aniseed, licoricey flavor being the main flavor, and it is there, but it's taken a bit of a backseat and definitely giving some of those fruitier flavors the spotlight, which I'm not complaining about. The Hypnotic has quite a sweet sort of fruitiness to it. The Iron Brew is some kind of fruit flavor. Does anyone actually know what Iron Brew is supposed to taste like? Because I don't. Solo is lemon, and Amaretto is, yeah, cherries. Or almonds. Whatever floats your boat. I know it's almonds, but cherries. It is pretty good. I don't think it's a level 20, but it's pretty good. Let's go in for a second sip, see if I can make my mind up. Ooh, actually, I'm gonna dip these hearts in. Let them soak up some of the juices before I try them. Cheers. Funnily enough, there is a little bit of a sour quality at first. I'm not quite sure what's doing that. Maybe the Solo, because of the lemon. Not that I thought it would have that much control over the flavor, but there is a tiny bit of sourness going on. So the sheets are living up to their name. Also, if you're wondering when the first official Jägerfighter makeshift drink will be, it's not going to be on Saturday, it's going to be on Monday. I'm going to take the weekend off, we're doing the live on Friday, going to recuperate over the weekend, and we'll start fresh next Makeshift Monday, the first official Jägerfighter drink. And on that note, if you've got any last minute suggestions for the lists for the new sheet, whether it's alcohols, mixers, additives or garnishes, preferably mixers or additives or garnishes, let me know, because there's still time. Alright, let's try one of these hearts. One last little sip before I make up my mind on what level we're giving this drink. Uh-oh. Oh no. We got it. So let's see how peach plays into the flavor profile. Cheers. Didn't really make much of a difference. So probably better just to enjoy them at the end of the drink. But as far as scoring this on our level 1 to 20 scoring system, I did already say it's not going to be a level 20. I think it's around the level 17 area. All the flavors work pretty well. It might be a little bit unnecessarily strong because of all the different alcohols. Not different alcohols, but just all the alcohol that went into it. I'm looking at you, Absinthe. But a level 17. And for the name, because it still has that sorcerer vibe to it, and with the little hearts on top, and with the absinthe in it, I'm gonna call it the Sorcerer's Synthetic Heart. And we should be left with just the dregs. If you're new to the end of any of our videos, you're now one of the dregs. It's where I finish the dregs of the drinks with the dregs of the viewers, which are you guys, the ones that stick around till the very end of the videos. You get a little bit of extra content. And I thought we'd get up close and personal, because it's been a little minute and this is a special drink. It's the final Sour Syrup drink. So I'm hoping that we get to see a bunch of you dregs in the live on Friday. I know time zones are weird. There's already been a bunch of you that said you're not going to be able to make it, and it doesn't help that we're doing it on a Friday, which is Thursday for some people. It's a whole mess. But who knows, maybe we'll get some new dregs come along and the community can grow. But keep an eye out for the countdown timer, tomorrow's video. Like 24 hours from this video-ish, I guess. Anyway, let's get these dregs done. There's still quite a bit here. Cheers to the dregs. Ooh, that is a strong drink. Still tastes good, but it's got a kick. Definitely got a kick. Anyway, good night, dregs. Or good time zone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because time zones are weird.